Good morning, everyone. Is everyone excited to be here this morning? Yes. Say yes. Yes. All right, here we go. Hallelujah. This is a simple song. I'll sing it through once and you'll Let's all sing this together. I am one with the love of God. Hallelujah. Let's do it again. I am one with the love of God. Hallelujah. Now let's say joy. I am one with the joy of God. Hallelujah. Peace. I am one with the peace of God. Hallelujah. Now we go to call and response. Here we go. Hallelujah. 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 All together. Hallelujah. 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 Oh, hallelujah. 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 Here we go. I am one with the love of God. Hallelujah. Oh, yeah. Do it again. I am one with the love of God. Hallelujah. Joy. I am one with the joy of God. Hallelujah. Peace. I am one with the peace of God. Hallelujah. Our response is to go, oh, hallelujah, 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 oh, hallelujah, 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 I wanted to help teach you this next song because it's one of my favorites. So. Let me just tell you the lyrics before we do it. So why don't you stand up, please? So repeat after me. I love myself so much. I love myself so much. That I can love you so much. And point at someone else. That I can love you so much.
I can love you so much.
That you can love you so much.
And that you can love you so much.
That you can start loving me.
And you can start loving me.
All right. Here we go. I love myself so much. That I can love you so much. That you can love you so much. That you can start loving me. I love myself so much. That I can love you so much. That you can love you so much. That you can start loving me. Tell your neighbor. I love myself so much. That I can love you so much. That you can love you so much. That you can start loving me. I love myself so much. That I can love you so much. That you can love you so much. That you can start loving
I'm so glad I found my glasses. Welcome to the Grants Pass Center for Spiritual Living. It is my deep honor to welcome you here today. My name is Paula Peterson. I am your board president and a practitioner here at this center. You did have many places that you could be on this beautiful July morning, and you chose here. So thank you. I'd like to start this Sunday morning, like we start every Sunday morning, with our vision mission statement, which says,
We are an open, loving, spiritual community dedicated to evolving consciousness through teaching spiritual principles.
As a special welcome, I would like to welcome Reverend Bonnie Anderson and Reverend Andy Anderson here doing our service. They are joining us from the beautiful town of Roseburg, and we're so happy that they're here. I also get to do announcements, so hang on. So today is our potluck Sunday, and I've asked everyone to bring their favorite Americana dish, red, white, or blue food. So stay afterwards, socialize, have a little bite to eat. It's a good day. I'd also like to welcome. I'd like to welcome 2 new board members, and if you see them afterwards, I'd like you to welcome them. We have Wendy Orsott. Yay, Wendy. And there's Shirley Bayat have joined our board. They're an appointment, and so welcome them to our board. They are dedicated servants for you. That's what it is. So mark your calendars. Next Sunday at July 10th at noon is our community forum. Now, before COVID, we had these on a quarterly basis, and that is according to our bylaws. And we are going to resume them. It's a time that you can join us. We kind of explain what's going on in our center, any new things, like, you know, we'll introduce our new board members, and you can ask questions. So that is next Sunday at noon. Coming July 17th, which is the following Sunday, we are starting an unexpected income program, and it's a 40-day prosperity program in which we will follow the Abundance book by John Randolph Price, and that is going to be a gift. Reverend Steve and I went together on this, and we will be gifting anyone that joins this unexpected income program. You'll hear more about it at the forum. So now is when I announce our air conditioning fund. Okay, so there's been kind of a change. The original bid was around $6,700. The final bid with shipping, and you know how everything is going up. The final bid, the final cost was $7,635. So the good news is we are already at $5,674.94. So, and I did see several checks that will be counted this Sunday, along with your generous donations. So we've already paid for it. It's already, you know, it's already paid for out of our savings, and so we just want to boast up on our savings. So thank you, everyone. It's the blue envelopes, and or you mark at the bottom of your check for the AC fund. Thank you. Okay. So the Wednesday night GPCSL Spiritual Living Circle has been canceled until further notice, and I think all those that participated did get a individual or did get a special email from Treasure on that. Our July practitioner meeting time change, it will still be on July 17th, but it will start at 12:30 after the unexpected income meeting is complete. Our metaphysical book study will continue. It didn't happen this Sunday, but it will continue next Sunday. Now, please stand and join Andy in singing "We Are One."
Here we go. We are one. We are one. I am you, you are me. We are one. And in this unity, we shall live in harmony. Peace has come as we are one. We are one. We are one. I am you, you are me. We are one. And in this unity, we shall live in harmony. As peace has come, as we are one. Over 3 times. Here we go. Peace and happiness. I think that's what they are.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's read the gratitude together, which is up on the screen.
I am thankful that I love myself deeply and unconditionally, and so it is.
Welcome to the Grants Pass Center for Spiritual Living. I'm Deborah Perdue, a licensed practitioner here, and I say it every time, but I mean it with all my heart. I love everyone here. I love being at the center, and I love being a practitioner. So there you go. Our practitioner on the table is our almost practitioner, Jamaica, Janice Garvey. And Jamaica and her have their oral panels this Saturday. So everybody know that they become practitioners on Saturday. They get the yes from me. If you're in need of prayer, please see Janice and she'll direct you to a practitioner who will do affirmative prayer for you. And also we have the yellow prayer requests, which you can fill out. They're at the back of the seat in front of you. And these are for demonstrations, which means manifestations of what we've been praying for, and we'd love to hear about those. We'll pray with and for you for about a week. You don't have to have something sad happening to have a prayer request. You can pray for more abundance or more peace and plenty in your life, whatever. And we pray for a week. Go ahead and put the prayer requests either in the box by Janice or in the offertory basket. And also it's on the website at grantspasscsl.org. You can fill one out there too. So you got lots of ways to get prayer. And I'm available for prayer after the service. Would you raise your hand if you are? Paula and Becky are too. Thank you. I'm going to thank myself for the flowers. Especially for the July birthdays, and Kaylin was one of them. Her birthday was yesterday. And so if you have a birthday in July, please stand and we're going to sing happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
And now, oh, if you haven't already, please turn your cell phone to mute or turn it off. Thank you. Or any other things that make noise like that. I also, before I forget, I want to say hi to the Zoom people and to the Facebook Live people. We still have Facebook Live, right? Yeah. We're so glad you're here as well. Let's read the prayer that's on the screen coming up together.
Centered in self-love, I am able to reach out to all others to love more fully. I am love personified, and so it is.
And it's time to sing I Am Loved. Please remain seated as we sing it.
The love of God is in my life. I am loved. The love of God is in my life. I am loved.
And so it's time for our contemplation and meditation time. And I'm going to read something about self-love, which you might have seen we have a theme going. And I believe Reverend Bonnie's going to be speaking on that. I'm going to read from this book, Meditations on Self-Love by Laresha Mattingly. Did I forget something? Oh, the welcome packets. Is someone here for the very first time? If you are, please raise your hand. We have a gift for you. And we're so glad you're here. Thank you, Paula, for reminding me. Okay, thanks, Paula. It's amazing how one can forget something in this, even though it's all written down. But I love myself anyway. Okay, so this is called Loving Ourselves. And I'm going to read it, and then we're going to spend a minute or two in meditation time. We must love ourselves. We must befriend ourselves. We must be able to come home to ourselves. Loving ourselves requires strength, courage, and understanding. Before I found meditation, I used to love myself conditionally. I loved myself only on the days when I felt joyful, peaceful, and happy. But this was not love. Love is like a gentle rain. It doesn't pick and choose where to rain and not to rain, it just rains. This is how we must love ourselves. Love is unconditional without bounds. We must love ourselves through it all. On the good days, the bad days, and everything in between. Let your love be like rain, and let self-love permeate every cell in your body. And as we go into the meditation time for a minute or two, I invite you to hug yourself or to put your hand on your heart and just feel the magnificence and the beauty and the wonder of who you are as a spiritual being having an earthly experience. As this meditation comes to a close, please bring with you the remembrance of gentle rain, the gentle rain of self-love always flowing and dropping into your heart. And now, it's my pleasure. I'm so glad that Reverend Andy and Reverend Bonnie are back. A lot of you missed them, but back when we were between ministers, they spoke several times, right? And it was amazing. So I am happy that Reverend Andy is going to do some beautiful music and then Reverend Bonnie's amazing talk. Thank you.
When I love myself just the way I am, I can free my power wherever I am. And anytime I can leave if I get a new paradigm and let myself go and go. There's only one life that has to be mine. I know that I can in this time. I let myself see start to be this perfection that I am. When I see the truth, know the truth, be the truth and me. I release and let go and love and go. When I love myself just the way I am, I can free my power wherever I am. And anytime I can be, I never do paradigm to let myself go. When I love myself just the way I am, I can free my power wherever I am. And when I decide to change my life in a new paradigm and let my love grow and grow. You see, when I know the truth, it has so rich of the results I'm looking for. It's gotta to be as I believe. Possibilities all I see. When I see the best, the best, be the best that you be. Then I know that I know that I know that I know that I know. When I love myself, I am, I can free my power wherever I am. And anytime I can be if I get a new paradigm to let myself go and go. When I love myself just the way I am, I can free my power wherever I am. Anytime I can be mine, you know right now to let myself go and let my love let it go and so let it go and go all you are, so let it go. Let my love let it go, let it go.
Thank you, Andy. That was so wonderful. You know, I don't even need to say anything because the whole talk is in his lyrics. If you want to take it home with you and remind you, Andy has some CDs in the back. But when I love myself,
and I love myself. So the theme this month for talks is about relationships. And relationships are so important. You know, the community that you have here today, the people that support you, the people that love you in your life are so important, the connection that we feel. And this week, the talk is about our relationship with ourselves, and as you heard from Andy's song, about loving and caring for ourselves. So the first relationship, I think, is the relationship with the divine. You know, it's our connection with God, spirit, whatever you like to call it. It's that connection with something larger than ourselves. And when we feel that connection, we have a higher perspective, don't we? When we look at the things in our lives, we come from a higher place, and it's very uplifting, and you see things in a new way, in a different way, when we rise up and know that we are one with all that is, that we are part of the divine matrix of life. It just changes how we look at our neighbor that we might be angry with, or irritations in our life, and we rise up and know that we're connected to everyone and everything. That we are a creative expression of the divine. I heard that the other day and I really liked it. It's like, I am an expression of the divine. Say that with me. I am an expression of the divine. We're a creative expression of God. It's like God creates through us, and God creates wonderful things, and we are one of God's creations. And then we can create in our own lives with this divine power that we have. So it's so wonderful. So first of all, the relationship that we have with God. And then the next step is the relationship that we have with ourselves. And that's why I love that song so much that we sang. I love myself so much that I can love you so much, that you can love you so much, that you can start loving me. It's not the first thing is, I want you to love me. Because don't we, especially when we're younger, we're going around, love me, everyone, searching for love outside of ourselves, which is a normal thing to do, when actually it's the love, it's the inner love, the love that comes from within us that answers the questions. And it's never about the other person. It's always about us. You know, you didn't love me enough, or you didn't love me right, or you left me and didn't love me. It's never about them. It's always about us and how we treat and love ourselves. We were students of Dr. J. Scott Neal, who sadly passed away recently, and he always said, that song that says, you light up my life, everybody loves that song. That's not right. You don't light up your life. I light up my life. And then I shine my light. So Andy and I lived in San Francisco for many years when we were in our 20s, and both of our boys were born in San Francisco. And it was we loved the city and the diversity. You know, I came from a conservative town in Michigan. And just when I moved to San Francisco, well, I met Andy there. I didn't know him yet when I first moved there, but it was exciting and it was diverse, and there were, you know, different kinds of restaurants and kind of zany people. And I loved it. You know, it was so much fun. And I used to take the bus every day to go to work. It was like the number 35 or something, I don't remember, but I'd wait on the corner and pick up the bus. And I would get in the bus, and some days I would look around and say, wow, look at the crazy people on this bus. I love it. Look at the diversity. Look at the way people are dressed kind of differently. And, you know, I loved it. But some days I would get on the bus and I would look around and I go, oh my goodness, look what she's wearing. That doesn't work for her. And oh, that guy's talking so loudly. Can't he quiet his voice. And, you know, I would just judge and criticize him. And I couldn't figure out why some days I loved they're probably the same people on the bus, right? They're all going to work at 8 o'clock in the morning or whatever it was. Some days they looked great to me and some days they didn't. Until I realized the difference was me. When I felt good about myself, I saw beauty everywhere. When I didn't feel good about myself, I judged everything. I didn't see that. So it's, you know, it's a reflection of what we feel inside. And if we find ourselves being really judgmental and critical, stop and look inside and love yourself a little more. Jim Lockhart is a friend of ours who wrote the daily readings in the Science of Mind magazine this month, like you did, Deborah, a couple months ago. I love that. But he said this: a strong sense of self-love is essential if we are to be our best selves and have a loving relationship with others. Because it starts with ourselves. How we treat ourselves is how we treat others. Yeah. And in this teaching, we know that there are what we call mental equivalents. It's you have an idea or a belief in your mind, and then it manifests out in the world. It manifests. So if I love myself and honor myself and treat myself well, I have that mental equivalent as me as a perfect being. And then it's reflected out in the world. I find people that understand and believe that of me. That if I'm always berating myself and saying, oh, how can you do that? I'm down on myself and mean to myself, then that's what I'll see out there too. That's the mental equivalent that I have. You know, we can look at self-care, taking care of it, because what we love, we take care of, right? And if we love ourselves, we want to take care and nurture ourselves. And so self-care can actually be a spiritual practice. We can elevate the idea of taking care of ourselves from just saying, oh, be nice to yourself or take care of yourself, feed yourself well. No, it can actually be a spiritual practice because it's very important. It's very important. It's it's our first relationship with ourselves. So it's so vital. So how about you? Do you do a good job with self-care? Do you honor and take care of yourselves? Who says that they do that? Yeah, great. You feed yourself healthy foods and move your body. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. But in Corinthians in the Bible it says, or do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit within you, whom you have from God? Our body is a temple. And when we know that we are a divine emanation of God, if we don't treat our bodies well, I don't want to say a sin because we don't believe in sin here, but it's really taking ourselves down the wrong path, because we are divine. We are beings of God, created in the image and likeness of perfection. So we deserve to treat ourselves well, to be kind and loving to ourselves. I am an expression of the divine. And if I'm a holy expression of the divine, sacred, you know, everywhere I walk is sacred ground. And therefore I should treat myself that way as a miracle, because we are, each one of you. So how do you speak to yourself? Do you speak kindly to yourself? Do you ever say negative things about yourself?
Yeah.
No. Oh, I got some nods there. Never, right? You know, and we do that a lot. I remember being in a workshop years ago when I was younger, and they said that voice that you hear in your head, that negative voice that goes on and on, write it down in your journal, what it's saying. Just write it all out. And I wrote it all out, and I was so surprised because it was nasty. It was really nasty, saying ugly, nasty things about me. And I realized I would never say those things to a friend, right? We would never be as mean in our mind to our friends as we are to ourselves. So it's something to look at. Michael Singer, in that wonderful book, The Untethered Soul, said that the voice that's within us that always points out everything you do wrong, right? Or everything you might do wrong, or what might happen, or all of that whole script that becomes running. He says it's like your inner roommate. And he has a wonderful exercise that you imagine that roommate is that voice being personified in a person that's actually sitting at your kitchen table as your roommate. And you listen to them saying, I can't believe you did that last night. It was so embarrassing that you said that in front of everyone. Or, are you really gonna wear that today? Or, hey, we're gonna have such fires this summer, it's gonna be, you wanna move out, on and on and on and on. What if that voice was coming from someone sitting at your kitchen table, who you invited in, who was your roommate? How long would they last? I think you might evict them before too long. Try it, try that. It's fun to do it, and then you think, oh my gosh, if I had someone speaking to me like that, I wouldn't want them in my house, let alone in my head. So, the more we become aware of how we treat ourselves, the more the ability we have to change it, because usually, many times we don't even realize it, do we? We've got that voice that's sort of running. Andy calls it the monkey mind, or that mind that's always going. Are you familiar with Byron Katie? Have you heard of Byron Katie and her work? And she has us question those beliefs that we have and say, is it true? To inquire around it, is it true? So I might say, I don't have the ability to write a book. I could never write a book. And then I look at that and say, is that true? Do I really know that it's true? So it's wonderful to, she's a woman who was severely depressed, couldn't leave her home, had an alcohol problem, eating too much, all these, for years, she was in the depths of despair. And then she had an awakening. That happens to some people, like Eckhart Tolle. She just awakened and realized that it was all wrong. And she said, I discovered that when I believed my thoughts, I suffered. But then when I didn't believe them, I didn't suffer. And that is true for every human being. Freedom is as simple as that. I found that suffering is optional. I found a joy within me that has never disappeared, not for a single moment. When this happens, when we begin to question some of those beliefs, those negative beliefs that we've heard about ourselves, sometimes it can happen innocently. As a child, you get a belief. Someone was saying that her mother was, had worked 2 jobs and was really busy, and came home one night and was frustrated when she was a small child, and she was being noisy, and her mother said something like, oh my God, you're so noisy and annoying. And her mother didn't really believe that. She was in a bad mood. It just came out of her mouth. But that's something that implanted in her beliefs. She has that as a belief, that I'm noisy and annoying. I better tamp myself down. That's not loving ourselves. But when we question it and look and say, is it really true that I'm noisy and annoying? When we become adults and we look at those things and we say, wow, that's not true. So I have an assignment for you this week. I don't often give assignments, but I have an assignment. And I would like you this week to discover how spiritually magnificent you are. Discover and celebrate your strengths. Turn that, it's hard to tell that voice to stop, because what happens when you tell it to stop? It gets louder. But just push it aside, say, yes, thank you for sharing, and celebrate your strengths rather than concentrating on the things that you don't like about yourself. Let's say that I am spiritually magnificent.
I am spiritually magnificent.
Because you are, because we're all so much greater than we think we are. We have an unlimited potential that we barely use. We have abilities that are just there below the surface. So find ways this week to celebrate yourself. Maybe you want to take yourself out to dinner or lunch or shopping, or read a book take some time and read a book that you've wanted to read. Take yourself on an artist date. Have you ever done The Artist's Way with Julia Cameron? It's a wonderful book, and she talks about, exploding your creativity, plugging into your creativity. And one way is to just take yourself on an artist date. Go out to a museum, or just walk in the woods, or just all by yourself, and just open up your senses and enjoy. And that allows you to open up to allow the creativity of spirit to flow through you. It's a wonderful thing. Now, comparison kills creativity. When we start comparing ourselves to someone else. I'm a soul collage facilitator. I actually did a workshop here many years ago, and one of the women showed up at one of my soul collage workshops in my home a few weeks ago. Anyway, that was here for that one. But soul collage is you make a collage on a card of images that speak to you from magazines that have lots of images. So I was doing that the first time I was learning it. I knew I was going to really like it. And I created this card that was amazing. It was beautiful and amazing. And I really liked it. And so it's time to do another card. Well, I started looking at the other people and what they were doing. And they were artists, and they were doing these amazing things, and just so much better than mine, right? And so I couldn't make another card. It just stopped me. I kept trying, but it didn't measure up to what I thought they were doing. It didn't measure up. So when we start comparing ourselves, it cuts off that creativity, because each one of us is a unique creative being with their own way of creating. The card that I made was every bit as beautiful as the ones they make. It was just different. It was uniquely me. Brene Brown tells a story of, she's a swimmer. She swims laps. And so she loves it, and she gets great exercise. And so she's swimming along. She said, I don't get in trouble unless I look at the person in the lane next to mine. And maybe there's like a young woman who's swimming twice as fast as me. So I try and swim quicker. Or, someone who has, and I start questioning my strokes and all that. So she says, stay in your own lane. And I like that. Stay in your own lane. Don't worry about what someone else is doing. Stay in your own lane. Have a love affair with yourself. Part of self-love is asking for support and help when you need it. Because there are people there willing and able to help you. And what do we sometimes say? Oh, no, I can do it myself. I can do it myself. Anybody have that problem? Yeah. We hate to ask for help. When, how does it feel to you when a friend asks you for help? It feels good. You're able to give. And so when you receive, you say yes. Well, my brother-in-law took a prosperity class, and the assignment was for 1 week, every time someone offers to help you or to give you something, you say yes. Even if it's the lady in the grocery store that says, can I help you out with your groceries? You always say, oh, that's fine. You say yes. So he had to do that, as a big, strong guy, right? Yeah, sure, I'll do that. But to ask for help and receive help when it's given, that's part of loving ourselves. And another way to ask for support is to see a practitioner. If you have something heavy on your heart, or the when I was in I was an intern. We used to have intern practitioners years and years ago. I was an intern practitioner, and someone asked me for a treatment to go to Hawaii. So I did a treatment for her, and it manifested. She got like an offer in the mail like 3 days later for this amazing trip to Hawaii. But at the practitioner meeting, I said, "Is it okay to treat for a trip to Hawaii? I thought it was only for like illnesses and things." They said, "No, you can treat for good things too." So see a practitioner. I have a practitioner. Every practitioner, minister has a practitioner, and she reminds me that life is unlimited, that I can have whatever I want. And so when I'm forgetting that, I call her and have a conversation, and I come away saying, yes, right? Dar, our friend Darlene Sykes is amazing. So we talk about freedom on this 4th of July and independence. It's a challenging time now in our country. A lot of things are going on that we don't necessarily agree with. And some of us are asking, what is mine to do? How can I be a part of the solution rather than the problem? How can I help enact change? And as we begin within and love ourselves fully and fill up our own cup, we're able to have the energy and the insight and the creativity to know what is ours to do, to flow that energy out into the world. Because I'm a divine expression of God. And when I know that, I have clarity, I have courage, I have the energy to be a part of the solution rather than complaining about what's going on. I'm courageous when I remember to love myself first. When we're self-critical, we give mixed messages and easily slip into fear and defensiveness. Each of us is unique and beautiful, and when we express this perfection, we can all be a part of that. And when we love ourselves, we're less likely to come from judgment. You know, I don't know about you, but I got caught up in the things this week and started complaining and getting upset. And it's all right to get upset, but to remember that we have the power within ourselves and to create a mental equivalent of love, divine love. I hope I can pull it up on my phone. I'm not really good at that, but somebody posted a quote. You probably know her, Laura Stewart. Mm-hmm. She posted a great quote by Jim Lockhart, who I quoted before. And so I'll close with this. As we prepare for the 4th of July, Independence Day holiday, let us turn to the highest aspirations that we have for our nation and see the possibilities from this moment forward. Perhaps that what will emerge will be a new vision looking forward that is as great for our time as the founder's vision was for theirs. And as we love and care for ourselves, we have the strength and the power to use that in our lives. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So let us pray. If you feel comfortable, you can close your eyes. And we know together that we are a divine emanation of the One. And as we realize that we are divine beings, it awakens a power within us that has always been there. It awakens wonderful feelings of love for ourselves, knowing that if we are a divine emanation of God, we must be perfect. We must be powerful. As we use this time to fall back in love with ourselves. As a child, joyful, loving, staying in our own lane and not worrying about what other people are doing. Remembering to let go of the criticism and the judgment of others and stay true to ourselves. Stay open as a channel for Spirit to express through us. To be courageous in our unique ability to be a shining star in this world. To know and listen when it is time for us to take action and when it is time for us to be still. But it all begins with our loving ourselves. I love myself so much that I can love you so much. That you can love you so much that you can start loving me. And it really is all about love. I know that I am spiritually magnificent and I help to awaken the planet to this knowledge. We are not victims. We are not powerless. We are powerful beings of light. And I am so grateful for each one of you that is here today, that we are here together. I'm so grateful for remembering who I am. I'm so grateful that I can love myself openly and freely and ask for help when I need it. So I release this down. I plant these seeds in the fertile soil of the mind. And I release them and know that they are so. Please join me in saying,
Yes, so it is.
Find out where we are here. Now it is time for our sacred giving. Right? Okay. So it is time for us to give from our bounty, to give from the bounty of our hearts to enrich this wonderful spiritual community that we love so much. And we say together, in thankfulness for this center, I give generously, knowing that we are centered in love and light, sharing it with all we meet, and so it is. I love how this church really gets into the affirmations. When they're on the board, you read them with gusto. I like that.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all. So blessed. I am 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 so blessed. Oh, I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
So we bless these offerings that have been generously given. We know that they are being used in wonderful ways in this spiritual community to spread the word, to know the truth, that we are spiritually magnificent. And we want the world to know that they're spiritually magnificent too. So we are so grateful for this generous giving. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. So it is.
So it is.
So it is. So, now we have a closing song.
Let's all stand. I am alive. I am alive. I am alive in this world. I am alive. I am alive. I am alive in this world. And I shine. And I shine. And I shine so bright. And I shine. And I shine. And I shine so bright. You are. You are alive. You are alive. You are alive in this world. You are alive. You are alive. You are alive in this world. And you shine. And you shine. And you shine so bright. And you shine. And you shine. And you shine so bright. Oh, we are. We are alive. We are alive. We are alive in this world. We are alive. We are alive. We are alive in this world. And we shine. And we shine. And we shine so bright. And we shine. And we shine. And we shine so bright. We shine, we shine, we shine, we shine, we shine, we shine, we shine.
As we shine, as we shine together as one, as we feel the light shining in our bodies, can't you feel it right now, the excitement? We bless everyone here, we bless this day, we bless ourselves and know that we love ourselves unconditionally. We are grateful to be here with each other, grateful to spread this message out in the world. And so it is.
So it is.